Let us try to solve the problem number 2 in the part B of C Sharp and .NET Lab. The question number 2 is as follows. Design a VB interface to conduct a simple multi-choice quiz with at least 5 questions. For selecting the answer, use radio buttons and arrays for storing the question and answer. One question can be answered only once. Show the total score through the message box whenever the user wishes to see his score in between the competition. Any question can be attempted randomly. The design is as follows. So this is the question, and we are supposed to design this interface. So I'm going to go to the Visual Studio over here, and I'm going to click on the file and new. So I'll click on file and new project, and I'm going to select the Visual Basic as my programming language because they said VB, and I'm going to select the Windows Form as my application. So Windows Form application, I'll select it. Give an appropriate name to your project, which is compulsory. You have to give a proper name and store it at proper location. Let me click on OK button to complete the process. So when I click on OK button, the Visual Studio will create a form for me, and it's going to show the form like this. I will go to the edge of this form, and I'm going to drag it down like this so that I can increase the size of the form to considerably a comfortable size is required. And let me put labels over here. You can write all these things in one label. So let me click on this label and create 3 labels over here. You can do one label and then type multiple lines, but let me put 3 labels altogether. So you have one label here, and let me assume that you have 3 more labels at the bottom side. So I'm going to go to the toolbox. If you don't get this toolbox here, click on the view, and under this view you see a toolbar here, and not this toolbar, the toolbox here, and you can click on this toolbox and then select this toolbox. So this toolbox will appear. I'm going to double click on the label. For that I have to first search for the label. I'm going to go over here and search for the label. So in the alphabetical order, HIJKLM. So L, if you go HIJKL, you are going to get it. Double click on it. Okay, I want 2 labels, so I'm going to double click 2 times. You can drag it. If you know how to drag it, you drag it, but what I noticed that most of the students don't know how to drag it. So when they try to drag it from the toolbox, they actually drag the whole thing out and keep it elsewhere. So it is not an advisable thing. If you can't drag it, just double click it. So let me put the label 1 here. This is my label 1. I'm going to put the label 1 here, and let me go to this property. So click on this label, right click on it, and then you get the properties. I'm going to fix this property window. Now you must notice one thing, that this is close button. Never close this button. If you want the toolbox to appear, just pin this one. So if you pin it, it's going to pin like this. If you click on it, it's going to unpin it. So if you click on properties and just pin it so that it won't go, and if it comes in between your work, just unpin it. Do not click on the X button. So you must remember that. So let's look at what we are supposed to do it. We are supposed to write quiz competition in all capitals. So I'm going to go to the label properties. That is, I have selected the first label. Oops, the first label over here, and I'm changing its properties, and what was it? According to them, then we are supposed to write quiz competition, and that is what I'm going to write over here. So I will click here and I'm going to say quiz competition. So all capitals. So I'm going to say quiz competition. Okay, so that's done, and we are supposed to change its font and do some other things. So let me go to the fonts over here. So if you notice here, right at the top you get the font. Click on this font. I'm going to make this font size as 14, okay, so that it looks very large, and I'm going to change the bold, and I'm going to make this as italics, and that's done. And I'm going to change the font size. I'm going to click on the down the font name. I'm going to click on the down arrow, and I'm going to type T, and when you type T, you get Tahoma. I'm going to select that Tahoma as my font, and once you do it, you notice that almost it has come to the one that they have said. Okay, T-E-T-I-O-N. Okay, they have written. Okay, I'm going to make it T-E. Let me make that T-E. Where is this text? T-E-T-I. Okay, I made it like this. Competition. Okay. Then done. Competition is done. Let me go here to the label, and I'm going to type something to this label. What is that? I'm supposed to click the button to attempt. So let's click on that. So I'm going to go to the text of this label, that is the label 2. So and I'm going to say click the button to attempt. So I think that is what they have written. Let's look at that. Click the button to attempt. Click the button to attempt. That is what they have done, and I think they have underlined that thing. That is too much. Okay, let me go to the font here, and let's see what else we can see. So we have the font size. If you want, I'll make the font size as 10, and it is bold, and let's say it is bold, and it is italicized, and it is underlined. Okay, so many things are there. So hopefully that is what it looks like. Okay, now once I have one label, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the keyboard shortcut CTRL, and I'm going to hold that CTRL and then use the mouse. So look at what I'm doing is let me zoom in. So you have this label here. Click on this label, hold the control. I'm pressing the CTRL button down, hold the control, click on this and drag it down. Leave the mouse button first and then the control button, so you get the replica of it. And all the settings that you have done, the bold, italic, all those things are there by default. Now you have to only change the text over here. One question can be attempted only once. This is what you are supposed to do it. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say one question can be attempted only once. Okay, I'm going to type that thing. One question can be attempted only once. That is what they have said. One question can be attempted only once, and that is what I have typed here in the text of this one. So here you have the label, go to its properties and then type this one question can be attempted only once. Let's look at the next one, and next one is each correct answer gets 20 marks. So that is the next one. Again the same thing, click on it first, hold down the control button, drag it down, leave the mouse button first and then the control button, and then what is that we are supposed to write? It is each correct answer gets 20 marks. So let me click on here, Control A and delete the text first. Each correct question gets 20 marks. So that's it. You have that much thing over here. Where is this? Okay, 20 marks, that's it. Okay, you've written something, and then if you want to, you can slightly bring it up so that it is closer. Okay, that's done. And let me put a button. So we need a few buttons over here. So let me go to the toolbox here on the other side. On the toolbox, let me search for the button. Button will be there in the top side. Double click on the button and click outside, so you get one button. So you get this one button. Click and drag it down. And what is that we are supposed to do with this button? We are supposed to write Q1 for this button. So I'm going to change the click on this button, and I'm going to go to the properties. If the properties is closed, go to the properties of this button. Remember, the one that you are changing, this button, and you just notice at the top side it's going to say button 1. Button 1 means this is selected. If I click on this label, it's going to say label 4. So your control identity will be shown right at the top of the properties. So this is the first button, so I can see this first button, and then I'm going to go to the text of this first button, and I'm going to say this is question number 1. So question number 1. Okay, so this is question number 1, and then change the size of this button according to the need. So this is made like this, something of this type. Okay, they have done like this, and if you notice the size is made as 14, and then maybe it is made bold. So I'm going to go to the button, and I'm going to go to the properties, and under this properties of this button, that is the button 1, I'm going to make the size as 14, and I'm going to make it as bold. So I made it as bold, and the size is 14. So this is what I've done. And if it is like this, okay, so let's see whether it looks that way. Okay, is it too much? Okay, Q1. Okay, that's it. Okay, if you want slightly do it like, okay, you got one button, and after this, remember, the same style is applied to all the remaining one. So I'm going to click on this button. First click on this button, press down the CTRL button, that is the control button, click and drag it, leave the mouse button first and then the control button. So this will be for the question number 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to do it. So click on the button. So just select it once, press down the control and drag it and to the right side and leave it. So this will be your third button. Again, click on it, press down the control button, drag it, leave the mouse button first and then the control. Again, one more time, press down the control button, drag it and then leave it. So this will be question number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we have scores as the next option. Click on it, press down the control, drag it and just leave it. Then we have one more, that is restart and exit. So let's go. You can select any one of them and drag it. So click on it, press down the control, drag it down. This is next one, and the next button will be exit. Click on it, control, drag it and then leave it. Okay, now let's fix this. This is question number 2, and click on it, go to the text of this particular button, that is button number 2. I have this button number 2, select button number 2, and I'm going to make the text as question number 2. That's done. Next one, question number 3. I'm going to do it here, question number 3. Okay, question number 3, and for this is question number 4, and this is question number 5. Done. And then they said that the next one is the score. Let me click on it and say this is score, all capital score, and when you type the score it may not appear full, so just click on it and then drag it and make it slightly larger. The other one is this is the one, that is a restart. So I'm going to click on it and then say restart. So this is again in capital, restart, S-T-A-R-T, restart. Okay, and click on it, slightly increase the size, restart. Okay, restart. Where is the restart? Restart starts from 2 and goes up to 4. Okay, so look at this, it starts from, roughly it starts after 1 and it stops at 4. Okay, roughly it is very large. Okay, then after that 4 will start and there is an exit. Okay, after this this will start from here and this is exit, E-X-I-T, exit, and I'm going to just drag it and make it exit. Okay, that's it. You have these many things, and let me again increase the size of this particular form. Okay, so I have this form here, and the next thing that I'm supposed to do is I'm supposed to put a group box. So let me go to the toolbox, and under the toolbox I'm going to search for the group A, B, C, D, and up to G you go. So group box, can you see this group box? Okay, double click on this group box, it's going to appear here right at the top. So when you double click on the group box, it's going to appear here. See, to move this group box, you must understand one thing. There is a provision that is provided here. Can you see there? You can move it only by clicking on it and then dragging it down, otherwise it won't move. If you try to move from here, it won't move. There is this anchor is there, click on that anchor, then only it will move. Okay, now you can always resize it. I'm going to resize it to make it larger. Okay, so this much is going to come, and that is I think too much. Okay, so I think this much is enough. Okay, that's it. You have this group box. I think you can reduce the size, and that is all. These are all things that you can always do it. So there is nothing much to be done, and you can just keep it here. Okay, so this much is done, and let's look at what is the next thing. Next thing is you have one label, two labels are there. So let me click on this one, and let me get a label. You can drag it. See, what I've done is most of the people are doing like this. They click on it and drag it. Okay, you can do it. If you, otherwise there is a other option. See, if you don't want, you see this A is coming now. If you don't want, click on the pointer, then the pointer will come. So I'm going to go to this label. If you can't drag it, click on the label, come here and click and drag. There are many ways in which you can do it, but option is yours. So let me go, and this is one question. One question will come, roughly one question will come. Okay, question 1 will come here. Okay, done. Then let's look at the next one. What else we are going to get it? Okay, select your answer, something they have written. So we need one more label. You can click and drag it, but because I've shown you one other way, so click on it, click on the label, and you don't have to drag it. Click and then create a box, leave it, it's going to come. So this is the select your answer, something is written there, followed by 4 radio buttons. So click on it and search for radio. R you have to search, R. If you notice this is the radio button. So you get it in the dictionary order. So click on it, drag it, and you get it, radio button. One radio button, you got it, and then you don't have to do it one more times. Click on it, press down the control, drag it down. You have the second radio button. Click on it, press down the control, drag it down. You have the third one. Click on it, press down the control button, control, and then drag it. Leave the mouse button first and then the control button. And the last thing that we are supposed to do it is put a button here. So let me go here and then put a button. Again, I'm going to show the other way around. So click on this button and click and drag. You get the button. So slightly down, I'm going to keep it. And what they have said is submit the answer. So this is what they have said. So I'm going to just click on here, this button. I'm going to select this button and then go to its property and say submit the answer. Okay, so answer. Okay, this is what they said, submit the answer. And I'm going to make it as italic, so they have played with the fonts like anything. So I'm going to make this one as italics. Okay, that's it. Done. Submit the answer. It's all done. So this is what we are supposed to do it. So that's the interface. And there are a few funny things they have done is they have changed the color of it. If you look at this, color of it is aqua. So I'm going to just click on this one and select the background. Remember, that's the background color. So you have selected the group box. You notice that group box was selected. So for this group box, you have this 4 color and you have to search for the background color. I don't know, I'm not used to changing the color and making the things fancy, because I feel like there are better things that you can do. So you have this back color over here. So in the appearance, click on it and select from the custom color. You select this aqua. I think this aqua or one aqua. Okay, you select one aqua. Okay, so this the one that I've changed is the back color. So click on this back color, down and click on the system color, not the system, the custom color, and then the aqua. So custom color. So if you click on down arrow, custom color, and this aqua, any aqua is okay. I'm going to select a light aqua. So you got this aqua here. This button is also made slightly very greenish in color. So let me click on this button and again same to the properties of this button. So this is button number 9 and I'm going to go to the background color of this button and click on the down arrow, and I think this color, one color they have selected. Okay, some color is there. I think one thing I missed, the submit T is missing there. Okay, just make it as submit. Okay, submit. Okay, done. And the last thing, if you notice, this thing is, the whole thing is made as white. So I'm going to click on this form here, the form and the color of this form. Click on the background color and I'm going to make this one and the system, under custom, make this one as white. So under custom, white for the form itself. So just click on the form and then set the color of the background as white. So this is what it's going to appear. And the last thing that you will see here is this quiz that has to be written. So click on this form and go to its I'm in the form now, and go to its text properties, and I'm going to say this is quiz. Okay, this is what they have done. Okay, this is quiz. So this much you are supposed to do it. That's an interface. I'll just run it to get a feel how it's going to look like. So this much you have to struggle to do this one. So after that, let's see. So this much it has come, and after this we are supposed to do something else. Now you may notice that the appearance is different. The reason is they have removed the icon, but that's all enough. Okay, and this is the old version of Windows that they are using. So with that, let's look at the coding. And what is they say? The array has to be created for storing the question. So let me go here and I'm going to remove. Remember, do not click on the X button. Always don't click on the X button, rather than unpin this. So you have to click on it and it's going to unpin it. Okay. So now let me go to the Solution Explorer. Again, if you don't get this Solution Explorer, go to the View and you find the Solution Explorer. So in the Solution Explorer, I'm going to go to my project, right click on it, and I'm going to say Add, and I'm going to say New Item. So I'm going to add a new item. Okay, let's go here, Add New Item, and I'm going to select the class. So I'm going to select the class here, and I'm going to give it a name, and I'm going to call this as quiz question. So I'm going to give the name to this class as quiz question. So that will be the name for this class. If you want, you put .vb, but even if you don't put the .vb, the Visual Studio will add .vb for it. Okay, so that's it. In this, what are the things that I'm going to store? I'm going to store only a few details. So remember, in a question, what are the things? I think, did I put just a minute? Did I put select your choice? Okay, I just forgot this one. There was something else was there here. I'll fix it later. Okay, don't worry. I'll fix this. Select this is one thing. I'll fix it later. This I just forgot to change. Select your answer was written there. I have not changed it. That's the label. Okay, it's not something that has to be done. I'll fix it later. Let me come back to this one. So you have this quiz question, and what are the things which are there? You have one question and 4 answers will be there. So I'm going to say public, okay, and I'm going to say question as string. Okay, this is first question. Then there will be 4 answers. So I'm going to say public answer 1 as string. I do it for 4 other answers. So this is second answer, third answer, fourth answer, and I'm going to just change this one. I'm copy pasting it, and by now you know very well how powerful is copy pasting. So this is 3 and this is 4. I'm just copied and pasted it. So just copy it and Control C and Control V it, and then we need one more. Last one is which one among them 4 answer, which is the correct answer. So I'm going to say this is correct answer number as integer. Okay, done. So we have one question and 4 answer, and we must know among them which is the correct answer. One question and 4 answers are there, and among them we must know which is the correct answer. That is obvious, is not? When the question is there, you must give the correct answer. Okay, that's done. I have done it in my class. So this is what you are supposed to do it in the class. Save this one. Click on this. Let me come back to the form. Okay. Again, if you close this form by mistake, go to the Solution Explorer and double click on the form 1. So just double click, go to the Solution Explorer and double click on any one of them. If you close it, double click on the appropriate name and it will come back. Now I am in the form now. So this is the form. Don't click on any one of them. You have lot of empty space within this form. Anywhere within this form, empty place is there. Not on this button, not on this label, not on anyone. Empty place over here. Any empty place. This empty place is also okay. Double click on this empty place. Okay. So what did I do? I just double click on this empty place. What happens is you will go back to the code. And the code says that form1.load. What is the meaning of it is, say I'm going to run this project. When I run this, the form will appear. So you see this form appears. This is called as loading. So when the form is loaded, so that is the event. So when you get this form, this part is called as form is loading. So I'm writing it in the form load event. I'm writing this here. So here I am supposed to write few things. First of all, you need they said at least 5 questions. Okay, at least 5 question. It is at least 5 question, because if it is 6th question, you need one more button, 6th button. If it is 10 question, you need 10 more buttons over here, and it is going to be, suppose if you have 100 question, then you know what's going to happen, how many buttons are going to come. So it is actually 5 buttons, 5 questions only, not more than that and not less than that. Okay, so I need a array. So this is what they said, arrays for storing the question and answer. I need an array, so I'm going to declare a variable over here. So right in the form class here, you see that form1.class, press enter, dim, and say question of 5 not 55, as remember, say, look at this one. I created a class called as question. This is the class I just created, quiz question. So I'm going to store 5 quiz questions here. So as 5 quiz question. So that's it. I created an array. So this is how you create an array in your C and maybe other programming language. You use square bracket, but in Visual Basic you use the circular bracket for creating the array. That's it. This is the circular bracket rather than your traditional square bracket. So that's different thing. So I am, in other words, one quiz question will have a question, 4 answers, and then a correct answer. I am creating such 5 questions. That's it. So let me create one question at a time. Okay, first of all, I need an instance of it. So the first question, remember, hope you are all familiar with this story of arrays. In the arrays, the first element is indexed as 0, second element is indexed as 1, third element is indexed as 2. Hope this is known to everyone. So the first element is always 0. Even though there are 5 question you have, the index will start from 0 up to 4, because you are starting from 0. So I'm going to start with the quiz of 0. This is the first question. First of all, you need to give an instance of it. You can't directly put a dot and write it. Remember, create a new instance of it. So I'm going to say create a new quiz question. You need to create a instance of it. First thing, okay, these 5 arrays that you have created, the array with the index 0, this is the index 0, this will contain a question. First of all, you have to first create the question and then set all of them. So first create an object of that type and then do it. Then let me go to the question 0. This is the first one, and then I'm going to say what is the question. Okay, you set the question, and I'm going to set this is, see, hard disk is, I'm going to set that is a question. And let me see, you know how powerful is Control C and Control V are. So I'm going to use the Control C and Control V, and I'm going to say answer 1 is, I'm going to say it is input device. Input device. Okay, that's the first question. Control C it, Control V it. Second question. Remember, I'm changing the second answer. There are 4 answers are there. Answer number 1, answer number 2, answer number 3, answer number 4. I'm setting all the 4 answers. This is output device. Again, let me go. And the next one, answer number 3 is memory device. Okay. Answer number 4 is what to do. Answer, all the devices are over. No? I don't remember. Okay, let's say processor. That's it. Hard disk is one among them. That's not the end of it. Now the next one, you don't need to do this one. The next one is what is the correct answer number. So what is the correct answer number among them? Which is the correct answer? This is the number. Remember, I have taken all of them are string, but the last one is integer. Okay, so don't give string to this. This is the number among them. Hard disk, you know very well, it's a memory device. Correct answer number is 3. Done. Now I have to repeat this for 4 times. Select this whole thing. You know how powerful is Control C and click here. Make some spaces by pressing enter. Control V. This will be the question number 1. Okay, now this is 0th index. Look at the array. In the array, first element, index 0 is over, index 0 is this one, index 1 will be this questions. So how do you make this? All zeros has to be replaced with 1. How do you do it? In Visual Basic, if you have learned to Microsoft Word, you know how to do it very quickly. So click here at this point, remember that, click here, the cursor is there. Press down the Alt button on your keyboard. You have Alt button, alternative button, Alt button. Okay. So click here, press down the Alt button, go down first. Remember, it is going down. This is called as vertical selection. Go down first and then to the right side. This is how you have to do it. So after pressing Alt, don't go right like this. This is not going to work. So after pressing Alt, you have to press it down, don't leave it. So press down the Alt button, drag down and then to the right. Leave the mouse button and then leave the Alt button. Press 1 there and everything is in one shot. Okay, so you have it done. Okay, that's done. And I'm going to just change this. Monitor is... Okay, monitor is an output device. So what is the correct answer? Answer number 2. Okay, done. Again, remember you have I have already copied. Control C is already done. I'm going to make it Control V. Okay, this is the third question. So how do you do it? Click here, press down the Alt, go down first and then to the right. Press 3. Sorry, this is not 3. This is 2. So let me click here. Hold down the Alt button, don't leave the Alt button, drag it down to the right side and then leave the mouse button first followed by the Alt button and then press 2. This is the next question. So I said monitor is, I'm going to say keyboard is. You notice why I'm doing that is I don't have to type all these things. I'm only changing one and I get this one. So you can save lot of time, the time, by keeping the answer fixed. So this keyboard is a input device. So question number 1 is there, question number 1 is there, question number 2 is there, question number 3 is there. Let me go to the question number 4 is there. Okay, let's say printer is, and you know very well it is what is it? It is question number it is output device. This is 2. Okay, again I have to change this one. Click here, press the Alt button, drag it down first, then to the right, leave the mouse button, leave the Alt button and then press 3. This is it. Last question to go and I'm going to click here. So this is the question number 4. Click here, hold the Alt button, drag it down, then to the right, make it 4 and it's done. Now last one is Intel i7 is a processor, maybe A, I think it's enough. Okay, this is 4. Done. So you notice that quickly you have all the 5 questions. This is question number 1, question number 2, question number 3, question number 4, question number 5. Remember what I have done, this why this one is less, because when you create an array index starts from 0, then it goes to 1 and so on up to 4. So this is array index that I have done. Okay, you have the questions with you. Questions are ready. Let's look at what is that we are supposed to do it. So when I click on any of the button, I am supposed to show the question. I'm going to create a separate method for doing it. So this is your question. You see there your questions are there. Okay, so I'm going to just zoom out for you. Okay, so just see these are your questions are there. So after the end sub of this question, these questions you have written, after the end sub, press enter. Okay, so then I'm going to create a private. Okay, sub, I'm going to create a subroutine sub, and I'm going to say display question. You can say anything, display question. It takes int question number. It takes the question number, okay, or you say index number, anything. I say instead of that I say index number. I'm going to say index number. I'm going to take it as I, okay, index number. That's enough. Okay, did I said anything else? Oh, sorry, I am in the Visual Studio. I as integer. Okay, this is something that I always forget. When I'm in the Visual Studio, it is other way around. So you don't, because I'm used to this C and other programming language. So I is the index. So what is the meaning of it is you give the index number. So these are the index number. If you say 0, this question has to be shown. If you say 1, this question has to. So you give the index number and that has to be shown. Where is that it has to be shown? So remember, you have to set this here. This is label number 5. So this is your label number 5. And radio button 1, radio button 2, radio button 3, and so on and so forth. So you just set them there. So you go here, go to my form, and I'm going to say label 5. Look at this one. This is label 5. If you want, you can right click and see the property and then confirm that this is label number 5. So can you see that this is the label number 5? I'm going to set it for this label. So let me go here and let me do it. So label 5 dot text. So text will be, remember, whichever question you have given, whichever index you have given. If you say index number 0, this question has to come. If it is index is 1, so whatever this I value is there, if I is equal to 0, then that will be shown. So under this question of q of I, whichever q of I, whichever question that is given. If I is 0, this is the first question, I is 1, second question, and so on. So whatever I value is there, first I'm going to show the question, okay. Then I'm going to go to this radio button, first radio button dot text, and I'm going to, what am I going to do is, I got the question here and I have to show the 3 answer, possible 4 answers I'm going to show here. So this will be the first answer, second answer, third answer, fourth answer. So it's going to come, radio button 1 will get q of I dot first answer, answer number 1. You get this. Again and again, you don't have to write this one. So control C it and control V, control V, control V. This is the radio button 2 will get the second answer. Radio button 3 will get the third answer. Radio button 4 will get the fourth answer. What do we mean by saying that is, so you have 4 different radio button 1, radio button 2. Even though it is said 1 here, the button is, see here, button number is 4. So if you click on this one, the button number will be 2. So even though it is said 1 there, don't go by its name, go by the reference here, it is button 2. So you have 4 buttons over here. The first answer will come here, second answer will come here, third answer, and fourth answer. This is what it is doing. So you are where is it, you are setting first radio button will get the first answer, for example input device. Second will get the output device, memory device, and processor device. That's not the end of it. We must also set which is the correct answer. That's really required. So I'm going to go right at the top, scroll it down where I have written this dim question. I'm going to say dim correct answer number. I'm going to say correct answer number. So see, correct answer number, okay, that's enough I suppose, as integer. So this is it. So this is correct answer number. I have to set this correct answer number. So this I am declaring a variable here, correct answer number, because I need it for valuation. So I declare a variable. Now come back to the display method. So the method where you have writing, scroll down, and where you have set the label is equal to first question, radio button is second question, third question, and so on and so forth. The correct answer number is equal to q of 0. Let me take this one. Q of 0 dot correct answer number. So what is that I am doing here is see, I have set in the question I have set which is the correct answer number. For the question number 1, what is the correct answer number? For the question number 2, what is the correct answer number, and so on. So I have set the correct answer number. This is there in the array. I am just when doing the calculation I need that one. Okay, so that's it. I have to do this one, display. Also, I need one more variable to know which is the question that is being selected. Now you see here, you can select according to them. Let's see what they have said. Okay, somewhere they have written okay, any question can be attempted randomly. That means they can click on any of the button. So I must know which is the question they have selected. Is it the question number 1 they have selected, question number 2 they have selected? I must know that thing. In the program I must know that thing. So I'm going to declare one more variable right at the top where I have the correct answer. I'm going to declare dim, okay, question number. Okay, I'll say current question, okay, as integer. Okay. Also, I'm going to declare one more variable. This I don't have to tell you. So that is, let me make this one as a small c. Okay. So variables we give small. Okay. So I'm going to call this as score as integer. You know what is it? At the end you have to give the score, and I must know whenever I do the calculation. I must know what is the score. That is why I'm also declaring directly at the beginning. I'm going to declare it as a score because at the end we are supposed to show what is the score, whether it is, if it is correct you have to give 20 marks, otherwise 0 marks. So that score I need to store somewhere, so I'm going to store it here. Okay, that's done. Okay, you have the variable. One is the current question I must know, other one is what is the score. If it is true, correct, what is the score? That is what I am supposed to do. Okay, that done. Let's go and see what we can do. So suppose if the question number 1 is clicked, what is that I am supposed to do? Okay, that's it. So I'm going to double click on this question number 1. Double click and you have the button 1 that is clicked. So what you mean by saying that is, if the question 1 is clicked, what is that I'm supposed to do? I'm supposed to show the corresponding questions. That's it. That's the only thing I'm supposed to do it. So when it is clicked, the name for it is display quiz question. So I'm going to say display question, and remember I'm supposed to press the index. Don't get confused. It is one less because this is the first question. First question carries the index 0. So that is it. This is the display question. Okay, done. And also I must say what is the current question. Current question number is 1. So there's some student will get confused. So what is that you have written? See, this is the question number. You have clicked on this question number 1. Where is it? Question number 1. But what is that? 0. 0 corresponds to the array index. So in the array you have stored all the questions with all the 4 answers. This is the index 0. Second one will be index 1. So this is the index of the array. Okay, that's what I have given. Okay, let me just run it and see whether I'm going to get it. Okay, so let me run it, and if I click on the question number 1, magically you see hard disk is, and you get all the 4 choices. Okay, when I click on the question number 2, I must get the same thing, and so on and so forth for all the 5 questions. So let us quickly do that thing. I'm going to go to this form, double click on the, again suppose if you click on close button by mistake, double click here and you get this one. If you want the code, if you closed it, so go to the form. On the form you have this arrow here. See, click on this down arrow and you see this. Double click on any one. This is for the form, this part, and okay, let me show that, this part. Then this part, second one, is the code, that is this part. Okay, one among them. Okay, so now let me double click on this question number 2. And what is that I am supposed to do? I know how to use copy paste. Control C from here and Control V here. This is question number 2 and index number 1. Again, remember, you have clicked on the question number 2. You have clicked on the question number 2, and in the array, why this is in the array? Array index 0 is this part. Array index 1 is this part. So this is array index 1 less than that. Okay, done. Let's go ahead and let's go to the question number 3. Double click on the question number 3 and Control C and Control V. This is the question number 3, and index will be 1 less than that. This is the array index. Same thing. Where is the question number 4? Double click, Control V to paste it. This is the question number 4, index number 3. This is the array index. Okay, done. Last one, double click on the question number 5, copy paste. This is the question number 5. If you know how to use the copy paste, you can survive in this world. So you have these 5 questions. Let's run it and let's see whether we are getting all the question one after the other. Question number 1 is there. Question number 2 is there. Only this part will change because this will remain same. Question number 3 is keyboard. Question number 4 is printer. Question number 5 is Intel i7. So you have, I don't know whether you will be able to see it. Very small thing is there, but if you want, I can zoom it and show it. So this you see there, but this part remains same. Okay, this is the trick that you played to save the time. Okay, that's done. You have done it. Now the question is, when you click on this, should I change this one? Okay, I will do it. I told you at the end I'm going to do it. See, there is one text you have to type it. Your choice is. Okay, I will do it at the end. You can do it in the beginning. I just forgot that thing, so I will do it at the end. This is just to change the text of this label. That's it. Nothing else to be done. Okay, so you have this one. But what you notice here is one other strange thing you will notice is when they click on the question number 1, you see that it is coming as Q1. Okay, that's a nice thing. Okay. In the question number 2, I think they have said question 1 here. Okay, should I put one more label here? I don't know. If you want, you can put the label here, question 1. Okay, I could not see that thing. This is not visible to a very great extent. Okay, oh, this 1 is there, question 1 is there. But in our case, we are getting, let's run it and say we are not getting this 1 here. We are just getting the question. It's okay. Let me fix this part first. Let me fix this part. And I need to get question 1 here. So I'll go to the display here. So where I have written this display method. So let me go to this display method. So I have the question here. Remember, this part is the group box. Can you see there? This is the group box. And what is the, if you look at the property of it, it is group box 1 is the name of that. So I have to set that thing. So I'll go to this here. After in my display question, so I set label 1 is this text, label 2 and radio button and so on. Then I'm going to say group box 1 dot text is equal to, so what is that we are supposed to, if you notice there, equal to, it starts with the question. So you see here it starts with the Q and then you have 1. Okay, so Q ampersand question number. What is the question number? So where is the question current question number. Okay, current question you have here. You set the current question. You notice this current question is 1. Second time you say current question is 2. Current question is 3. So this question number has to appear. Okay. So this is what you are supposed to do it. Let me run it. And you have question number 1. Question number 2. I'm going to zoom it for you if it is not visible. When I click on this question number 2. When I click on question number 3, when I click on question number 4, so Q followed by that number. Okay, that's what you are getting it. Q followed by the current question number. Now I wonder what is this thing. Now if you notice over here, this is 1 here. Who is the father of computer? Is 1. Now when I click on here, will it come as a question number 2? Because Q2 is already here. And what is it going to do with 1? I don't know whether it is 1 is for that, 1 is for this. I am not very sure. Now if you find, okay, what should I do, sir, in that case? See, the thing is, you don't need to bother much about it. If you just forgotten all those things, come to this one. You wrote the question number here. So you say 1 dot hard disk is. Okay. 2 dot monitor is. I don't know. Okay. 3 dot keyboard is. 4 dot printer is. 5 dot Intel is. Okay. So let me run it and see if you notice. Because I said, look, let me show it. 1 dot hard disk is. 1 dot I put. Okay. So this, look at here. I'm going to zoom in for you so that you can see it beautifully. So click on question number 1, 1 dot hard disk is. Question number 2, 2 dot monitor is. Question number 3, 3 dot, 4 dot. Are you getting that? Okay, so it's nothing much to be done. Okay, so here in the question itself, put 1 and the first question, 2 and the second question, 3 and 4 and so on. So you get that question there. If it is so required, you just put that thing. Okay, done. We are done with it. A few things to be done. Okay, and that is when I click on this submit, what am I supposed to do it? Okay, that's it. Okay, so when I click on question number 1 and if I click on this one and then submit the answer, then I have to do the calculation. So let's go to the submit button there. So I'm going to double click on this submit button. So I just double clicked on this submit button. So when you submit it, what is that you are supposed to do it? Okay, that's it. When you submit it, you have to check whether the thing that is clicked here is matching. So let's look at let me go here and let me look at this one. I'm going to run this one. Suppose if you click on the first question and if look at here, the correct answer for this is the answer number 3. This is the correct answer. And if you have clicked on the answer number 3 and then click on the submit button, then you must be given 20 marks according to them. Okay, so that's what you are supposed to do it. Okay, so suppose if the correct answer number is 3 and you have clicked on this one, then your answer is that. Okay, so that's simple as that. So let's do that thing. What is there? So I'm going to go over here to my button number 9. See, if you want, you can just double click on here. So we are supposed to do it. So we start with if okay, current see if the correct, it's not the current, if the correct answer number is equal to 1 and radio button 1 is clicked, radio button 1 is checked. So that is meaning of saying when you click on it, the dot, when you click on that, what you get, I'm going to just press end if here. Okay, when you click on this radio button, it means it is checked. So when you put a dot in this radio button, it means you are checking it. So if the, what is this? Suppose if the correct answer number is 1 and you have correct answer was 1, and fortunately you have also selected 1 as your answer. Let's assume that, then you must be given 20 marks, is it not? So as simple as that. So then your score, remember I have declared a variable called as score, is 20. Okay, so your score, look at here, right at the thing, your score is 20. Now the thing is, there is nothing called as you are going to click on the question number 1 first, question number 2, because according to them, let me zoom out a bit, any question can be attempted randomly. So whatever the previous value is there, by default your integers will have 0 as the default value. So whatever previous value is there, for that you are supposed to add 20. It is not just 20, because you might have clicked on the question number 2 first, and then you might have come to question number 1 and so on. So whatever is the previous value, for that you add 20. Default answer is 0. 0 plus 20. The integer default is 0, so you get 0 plus 20. So you are going to say plus 20 here. So this is going to be plus 20. Okay. Now else if, let me say else if, same story. You know how powerful is this copy paste. Control C and Control V. Okay, else if the question number 2 is the correct answer is 2, and you have also clicked the second radio button, that means to say that the correct answer was 2, and you have also selected 2 as your choice. If that's the case, you get 20. Now I'm going to use the copy paste again, Control C and Control V. This is for the, if the correct answer happens to be 3 and you have also checked the radio button 3. Last option, if the current answer is 4 and you have checked the fourth one, then you get this much. Okay, that's it. Okay, let's look at how this is working, but before how it is working, I have to show the answer. So I'm going to fix that problem also first. So this look at this score. I have to get this score, is it not? What is the score? What did they say? Here is where is this? So where is this? Okay, here. Show the total scores through the message box whenever the users wishes to see that. Okay, so that's it. So I'm going to click on this score. In this score, what is that I'm supposed to do? They said show a message box. Message box dot show. And I'm going to say your score is, okay, whatever score that you will see, you are pressing this plus 20 or minus 20, what you are doing, ampersand it and then put the score, SCORE. Okay, and let me put a title as quiz result. Okay, that's it. Okay, so that's it. So see here, I am putting a space here. Some of you just don't get this one. Remember, if you want a space here, otherwise that score will touch this is. So there must be some space there. Okay, so let me run it and just see. Okay, I attempt question number 1, and the hard disk, I say it is the memory device. I said submit. Okay, done. Okay, if I see the score, what is the score? Score is 20. Okay, let me click on the question number 2 and I say the what is a monitor is the output device. I submit it. What is my score? 40. 20 plus, that is why I said, let me do it here. See, when I use the score, it is the last 20, last value plus, you must do plus the value. Hope you get that. Question number 3. What is it? The keyboard is the input device. Remember, the current value is 40 was there. I submit it and I must get the value as 60. Okay, so plus, so that is the answer. Now you're done with almost everything. Now there are few housekeeping work that you are supposed to do. Let's look at the first housekeeping work that what you are supposed to do. Let me run it. and you see I click on the first question, and the first question reads as follows. Hard disk is, you know, it's a memory device. You submit it, okay, over. Now if you click on the question number 2, by default it is showing an that monitor is a memory device. Remember, this is like you are giving a hint to a person that this is the answer. Why you should not. Okay, so when a question is shown, everything should be blank. Okay, so let me run it and then show. See, when you run it for the first time, let me run it and show you. When you run it for the first time, you see it is a blank slate that is given to the. I'm going to click on the question number 1. It's a blank slate that is given. Then you say your answer. If you say don't answer, it's okay. See, in the question paper you see answer any 6 question, and you have attempted only 2 questions. So does that mean you can't submit your answer script? You can. You have not answered any question, you can submit it. Okay, but there is no hint as such. If you do this one, I'm going to submit it. When I go to the question number 3, it should be a blank slate here, not the one that is already selected previously. So that I'm going to take care. How do I take care of? Suppose if you go here to the question number 4, and if you say the output printer is an output device, when I click on submit, what must happen is my choice here should clear. So this thing has to be clear. Okay, whenever I start with the new question, it should show a blank slate here. How do I do that thing? So I have to fine tune my display function here. So let's go to this display function that I have just created. So display question, what I've done here is you set all the questions and so on and so forth. Now if what I'm going to do is suppose if the user has if the user has clicked on any of them, I'm going to, when you click on it, the property there is checked, I'm going to uncheck it. So that is what I'm supposed to do it. So display all the question. So in other words, when you click on a question, display all the question with all the answer, but if any of them is checked in the like this, if it is any of them is checked, so let me submit it. If any of them is checked, uncheck it. When you go to a fresh question, if any of them is checked, uncheck it. So how do I do that thing? So you set all the questions, question with all the answers and all these things. This is the display question that I have it. So after this, you go to this radio button 1 and you say checked is false. Okay, this is programmatical way of setting it false. Okay, in the same way, all the 4 radio buttons, you see how powerful is the Control C, Control V. So this is the radio button 1, and this is the radio button 2, and this is the radio button 3, and this is the radio button 4. I am clearing all the check marks. So let's look at how it's going to come now. See, when I select a question, whatever is the question, I'm going to click on the question number 1. I'm going to select this one. I'm going to submit it. When I click on the question number 3, I am given a blank slate. I select something and I'm going to click on the submit. And if I go to the question number 5, I am shown a blank slate. Why I am showing the blank slate is when I show this question, see this display question, in the display question, last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make all the check marks. If there is any check marks, I'm going to make them false. Okay, that's done. Well and good. Let's look at what is the next thing that you are supposed to do. Then say, okay, they have one question can be answered only once. That's the next thing that I am supposed to do it. So what is the meaning of it? So let me run it and let me show it. Suppose if you click on the question number 1 and you have submitted it, okay, then you go to question number 2. Again, question number 1 should not be active. Once you show it, question number 1 should be disabled. If you select question number 3, question number 3 should be disabled. So how do you do that thing? So once you click on this one, that is, once you have a question here, select the choice and click on submit the answer. When you click on this button, whichever question that you have selected, that question, this button over here should be disabled. It should not be shown. You can hide it or you can disable it, saying that you have attempted it. Hide means it will simply disappear and the user will get confused. Where is it gone? Okay, so I will disable it. Saying, what is the meaning of saying disable is you cannot click on it. So how do we do that thing? So once you have this, let's go here. When you click on this submit, I'm going to double click on this submit here. So this one, submit here. So when you click on submit, you calculate the scores, whether the score is 20 or 0, or you submit it. After that, what I'm going to do is, whichever question that was selected, if it is a question number 1 or if the question number 2, whichever question that is selected, that button will be disabled. So I'm going to say if current question, so if the current question is equal to 1, then I will disable the button 1. Button 1 dot enable is equal to false. Disable means enabled equal to false. This is the property, enabled is equal to false. What is the meaning of it? Is suppose if your first question was shown, current question is question number is 1, and if you click on submit, then this button number 1 should be disabled. Okay, let me run it and let me just show you. I'm going to go it only do it for the button 1. So click on this button 1. Suppose if I click on any of them and if I say submit, okay, button 1 is disabled. See there, I can't click it anymore. Can you see the difference? I can't click it. This is called as disabled. Okay, second question is available, third question is available, fourth is available, fifth is available, and all these are available. But question number 1 is disabled. Similarly, we have to do it for all the question. So else if the current button is, I'm going to use the copy paste. See, if the current question is 2, then you have to disable the second button. Okay, suppose if you are clicked on the second question, then the second button has to be disabled. Same thing is true. I'm going to copy paste the whole thing, Control C and Control V. If the current question number is 3, disable the button 3. And last thing that you are going to do is, if the current question number is 4, button 4 has to be disabled. So let's run it and let's see what is it going to do. So I click on the question number 3. I assume that this is the answer. Let's click on it. Question number 3 is disabled. I click on the question number 5. Assume that this is the answer. I click on it. Let's see. I click on the question number 4 and I'm going to click on this. Oh, I think I forgot to add the one more. Question number 5 is also there, is not. So question number 1, click on it, disable, it's gone. Question number 4, click on it, disable, it's gone. Question number 5, click on it, it is not gone. Why? Because I have not taken care of it. I went up to question number 4. One more is there, question number 5. So last question I have not done it. Question number 5 is there. Button number 5 has to be disabled. Okay. So let me, if you want, you just show it once. Randomly you select a question, submit it. Question number 5 is gone. Question number 2, click on it. So number 2 will be disabled, and so on. It will be disabled for all. Now there is one minor problem is that, see, once you submit it, if you click on the other question will appear, no doubt. But the problem is you can click on this and then submit one more time. You can click on this and submit one more time. You can click on this and submit one more time. That should not happen. Okay. You are not only disabling the button, you will also disable this submit your answer. Otherwise, they can submit the answer 100 times. I'm going to show you what is going to happen. See, let me run it. Okay, let's see I'm going to zoom in for you. Question number 1. Hard disk is, you know very well, it's a memory device. Submit the answer. 1 is disabled. I can't enable 1. What is my score? My score is 20. See what happens. It's a memory device. I'm going to click again, submit your answer. What is my choice? Is 40. Why? Because it's the same question. I am again attempting it. I get to 20 extra mark. Again I submit it. Look at the score. It is 60. Why? Because it's the same question. Unless I go to this next question, that if I re-attempt it 100 times, I get to very high marks. So what I am supposed to do it is, once you click on this submit answer, this itself must be disabled. Okay, so what is the button number? You know very well, this was button number 9, I suppose. This is the button number 9, submit button. You see this submit button, this is button number 9. So I'm going to disable that button number 9 also there. So let's go here and double click on this one. You disable and button number 1 unconditionally, button number 9 dot enabled is also false. Okay, enabled is also false. Now let me run and just show you. Now you have one other problem. You will invite one other problem. So let's start. Let me zoom in for you. Question number 1 is clicked. You say hard disk is a memory device. Good. You click on submit. The submit itself is gone. Now you can't submit it anymore. You can see the score there, 20. I can't click here because it is disabled. Let me go to the question number 2. What will happen? You know, monitor is a output device, but you can't submit it because it is disabled. Oh my God. So you have another problem. That means whenever you show the question, you enable this button. Once this button is clicked, disable it. So let's go to the display here. I'm going to go to the display method. So where is this display question? This method is there. So you enabled radio button checked and so on and so forth. Then I'm going to say button number 9 is enabled here. I say button number enable is equal to true. Okay, so look at what is happening now. Run it. If it is already enabled, you can't enable one more time. So question number 1, button is enabled. So look at here, button is enabled. So what is a hard disk? Hard disk is a memory device. I click on it. Submit button is gone. Question is gone. Your score is 20 still. Okay. Anytime you do it, nothing is going to happen. Question number 4, I have clicked on it. You see, button has come back. Can you see the button? You see the blue box there? Button has come back. Okay, so printer, this printer disk has come up. Okay, sorry. I think that question see when you delete it, properly. A printer, not disk, printer is a output device. Submit it. It is gone. Can you see? It is disabled. Question number 4 is also disabled. My question is 40. Okay. Then now there is a typo here. I'll fix that thing. Otherwise you will laugh at me. But there is nothing called printer disk. Where is that? A printer disk is gone. Oh, monitor disk. Okay, see, everywhere disk is coming. Keyboard is a disk. I think that is a typo. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is a question. Okay, printer is, I think, hard disk. I just removed that hard. Then I just forgot to remove that disk. Okay, sorry about that. So I did it because you know very well. You can save a lot of time by keeping this choice constant and just changing the question. Okay, otherwise you have to type all of them. Okay, done. Now few other things. Let's come back to the few other things. So you have this done. Your question is there. Your this is there. Okay, this part is done. Now only problem is, see, when you run it, when you see the problem here, when you run it, it is starting with the radio button 1, radio button 2. What is this radio button? So when I start this form, when the form is loaded, I want the question number 1 to be shown. Okay. Whether they like it or not, I just show the first question. Okay. This is the rule, general rule. So I'm going to just show this question number 1. Okay, so let's do that thing. So how do I do it? When the form is loaded, where is this form loaded? You see this form loader event. When the form is loaded, you have lot of things you have done over here. So last thing is correct answer number 4 is you have written here. After this, see, this is button number 1. When you click on the button number 1, these are things going to happen. Current question is 1. Display answer is 0. So I'm going to copy this, Control C. and I'm going to paste here. So after this, when the form is loaded, current question number is 1 and display the 0th question. This is same as when you click on the question number 1, this is what you are doing. Current question is 1 and display question. The same thing. I copy pasted it because you know very well I'm very much excited to copy paste it. I just copy pasted it. What is the end result? End result is when you run it, you see the first question being loaded to you directly. That's nice, is it not? If you don't want to answer, click on the third question and start with the third question. Who has prevented you from doing it? So you want to answer the fourth question, answer the fifth question first, and then go to the second question, and then and so on. Okay, so that is done. Now your score is going to come. There is no problem. You fixed all this problem. What will happen when you restart it? When you restart it, you have to fix a few things. First of all, your questions has to be done. So let me go here to the restart button. I will go to this restart button and double click on this restart button. When you restart the button, what is that you are supposed to do it? First of all, I will set the score. That's very important. Score is set to 0. This is very much required because you don't want the last score to be shown. And I am going to show the first question. So where is the first question? Current question and display the question. I'm going to show this one. Okay, so score is set to this, and you say current question is 1, display question, and you get that thing. Okay, so is it going to happen? Okay, there is one minor problem. I'll show you what is it right at the beginning. So you attempt a question and you said, okay, this is disabled, this is disabled. Okay, your current score is 40. I'm going to reset it. Look at your current score is 0 because you have not attempted anything. But there are what you notice here is these buttons are disabled. Can you see there? These two buttons are disabled. So you have to enable all those buttons. Okay, so that thing you have to do it. So enable all the buttons. So let's enable all the buttons. So this button number 1, button number 1 dot enabled is true. True, you enable it, and also the button 2, 3 and 4, 5. Okay, whatever buttons are there, I'm going to just get 4 buttons. So button 2 is enabled, button 3 is enabled, button 4 is enabled, and I think I have left one more button. Button 5 is also enabled. Okay, so let's try it. Let's run it. Okay, let's run it. Don't worry about the choices that I'm doing. I submit the first question, I submit the fourth question, I submit the second question, I submit the third question. I may get 0 because I'm not reading it. Okay, and I get it. I see the score. My score is 40. Okay, I say restart. Restart. My score is 0. I attempt any of the question and I submit to click on anything. And if you look at the score, I get the score is 0 because that choice was wrong. So get it. So you are able to restart the question. And the last thing that you can ever do is click on this exit button. And what is that you're supposed to do in the exit button? So let me go here to the exit button, double click on this exit button. And when you click on the exit button, just click on the end, type end. You're going to end the program, the end for this current program. That's it. You are going to end it, run it without doing anything. Let's exit, and you're going to end the program. So that's it. So everything, yeah, I hope everything is coming back properly. So you have the question with you. Let's look at the things. What are the things that they let me just show that thing. What are the things that they have said, and are we doing it? So what did they say? Okay, we have used arrays, we have used the radio buttons. It's done, and the question can be answered in any order I feel. Okay, that's it. And what is the next thing? Show the total score whenever they want. Okay, they can show it whenever they want, and any question can be attempted in any way. That is also done. So question number 1 is attempted. What is the hard disk? Okay, one last thing. Okay, this one last thing, let me fix that one. Okay, this is one last thing before I run. So your what is that they have said here? Select your answer. That is what they said. Okay, let me try that thing. Only one small, one minor. This label 6 was there. This label 6, I'm going to set its text. It is the only thing that you have to do. You have to just change the text. Okay, you can do it right at the beginning. I just forgot it. Select your answer. Okay, that's it. So this label, for this label, I'll go to the properties, label number 6, and I'm going to write it in select your answer. Okay, this is it. This is what you're going to get. With that, I think it's all done. Question number 1. Hard disk is memory device. Submit. Question number 1 is gone. I can't resubmit it. My score is 20. Done. Question number 4 or question number 3, I'm going to attempt it. Keyboard is I say output device. It's a wrong answer. Submit it. Let me see the score. It is still 20. If I submit it 100 times, if the score is still 20, it's not going to allow. Question number 3 is gone. Question number 2. What is the monitor is the output device. Okay, let me click on submit and let's see what's my score is 40. Okay, good. Question number 5 is attempted. Intel 7 is a memory device. Let me say this is wrong. Okay, submit it. What's my score? It's still 40. Question number 4 is there. What is the question of printer is output here. Let's say submit it. Score is 60. Done. Now you can only see the score because you attempted all the question. You can see the score. I can restart from the beginning. Okay, and then do the same thing and then click on exit. That's all in this class. We will meet again in the next class. Thank you.